Welcome back to the show. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back. Did you get your ticket to XRP Las Vegas May 30th, May 31st?
XRP community, the SEC versus Ripple case is over. Now the path is clear, and the celebration at XRP Las Vegas 2025 just went 10x. And you need to be there May 30th and 31st at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. Hear from White House Crypto Council members on stage, including Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Giancarlo. You'll also hear from Dr. Christopher Brummer from Blueprint. And one lucky builder developer will win a $25,000 prize for the best Web3 project idea. Go to the EZA app to register for your chance to win $25K. The excitement is building for XRP Las Vegas 2025, the world's largest XRP conference. Get your tickets now and lock in.
XRP Las Vegas. Listen, this is going to be incredible. Make the investment into yourself and get yourself to this conference, because I'm telling you, you are going to learn things at this conference you just won't learn anywhere else. Not to mention the relationships you'll solidify, the people you will meet. I cannot explain to you the value in this event. I'm telling you what. Look, if you think the price of the ticket's high, think about the price of regret. Right here is a tariff conversation. President Trump, I told you all of this stuff is connected to the money. You'll hear him say it.
China, 67%. That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and
including.
That's tariffs charged to the USA, including currency manipulation and trade barriers. So
currency manipulation and trade barriers. Hello. Isn't this what I've been talking to you about? All of these things are connected to transitioning to a new digital on-chain economy. Why do I say that? If you're using the XRP ledger and everyone's stable coins and central bank digital currencies are on that network, flying back and forth, if there's any currency manipulation, it's not going to affect other countries. It'll only affect the country that is happening in. Because the truth is, XRP can serve as an insulator, right? Insulating us from the other spillover shocks, even our own dollar trouble to other countries. XRP can act as an insulator, a buffer between all of the world's money. This is serious. And I do believe that this all plays a hand in taking a step towards that as a grand vision. The dollar Dixie, Egrad Crypto says, in one day, 14 hours, Dixie will be closing the first candle below the 200 WMA since November 2021. Dixie down, risk on assets, go boom. That's the way we've seen the inverse correlation with the Dixie, which is the dollar index. Now, tariffs and Liberation Day just happened yesterday. So I'm sure over the next few months, we're going to see some turmoil, a little back and forth, right? The dollar could be going down some, as Egrad Crypto is talking about, and that could be from this shift in tariff policy. It could have some temporary downturn effect on the dollar until everything settles. And we could see the market go crazy because of it. Hello. Maybe even this summer. Brian Steele says the Financial Committee just passed the Stable Act. Full speed ahead, ladies and gentlemen. I am loving this for all of us. And here's a refreshing sentence we never hear often. Congress is moving at lightning pace to pass crypto legislation. What a difference an election can make. Both the Senate Genius Act and the House Stable Act have passed out of their respective committees. So now what? Eleanor says the bill awaits debate time on the floor and a vote in their respective chambers. In the meantime, two crypto lobbyists tell me there will likely be a coordinated push behind the scenes over the next few weeks to get the two bills to mirror each other, as there are still some differences between them. If they can get them to be in relatively the same place on their own, it will avoid having to set up a so called conference committee, which is formed so members from both chambers can negotiate to create final version of the bill everyone agrees on. The House is also set to move on to market structure now. The first hearing on the subject is set for Wednesday, April 9th. As I said, moving at a breakneck pace now, ladies and gentlemen. That's not something you hear often. And I remind everybody that the House's Stable Act bill has a provision with a 2-year window for foreign issuers, such as Tether, to meet certain criteria and standards. The House's version's 2-year transition is more than adequate, Representative French Hill said. So, this is interesting that Tether is already facing a 2-year lockout. Hello. RLUSD's coming in. It reminded me of this. Remember this about Bitcoin and XRP having legal clarity from Craig DeWitt, formerly of Ripple?
Here's my hot take.
Hit me.
SEC gets their ass kicked in the Ripple case. Absolutely get their ass kicked in the Ripple case. But the ruling comes out in such a way that XRP is alone cleared as a non-security in the United States. Meaning that with all the other stuff that the SEC is pulling, suing exchanges, suing other coins, are going to sue some big ones as well, that only BTC and XRP have legal clarity in the United States for a 2-year period.
And we're pretty much staring at something just like that right now. Okay. This is amazing. Shout out to Craig for that. And look, this is a reminder here. The DTCC launched blockchain black platform for tokenizing collateral. Remember, this is the same DTC that settles over $2 quadrillion a year. That's all. The DTCC blockchain platform for tokenizing collateral. Well, remember when we reported on this March 25th, just a week or so ago? The DTCC is now live with new treasury clearing capabilities as well, ahead of the regulatory deadlines as volumes and membership continue to grow. Okay. And now they've expanded the treasury clearing to having a blockchain platform for tokenizing collateral, period. And a part of that is the XRP DRs, the depository receipts, right? Which is basically a securities offering of XRP to give alternative asset exposure to eligible clients. In other words, XRP DRs are RDC's latest expansion into to provide Depository Trust Clearing Corporation eligible securities that offer ownership of digital and alternative assets. RDC's leadership brings the extensive experience in depository receipts, and institutional market infrastructure, having spent decades working with issuers and investors to evolve depository receipts-based financial products at a leading global bank. So the DTCC set up around a securities framework. So in order to have the benefit of using things like XRP for settlement, they had to create an eligible security offering to have exposure to it. So they don't have to rewrite the regulatory framework to accept this. That's what that is to me. And that's incredible. And they're setting the stage. Are we seeing this? So in other words, 2 quadrillion every year is liquidity. That is liquidity. And if you're tapping XRP into all of this to help settle this massive amount of liquidity, what's it going to do for XRP's price over time? And why is it that we always find Ripple sitting at the table with the most important people in government around the world? Just like Lauren Belive, who is sitting as head of public policy for government at Ripple, right beside Nellie Liang, the undersecretary for domestic finance. Isn't that incredible? And why is it so many people have come through Ripple's camp? You know, like Craig Phillips back in the day. Craig Phillips from the U.S. Treasury Department went to Ripple, early days. Then Michael S. Barr, Ripple advisor, came from the Treasury, then went on to be the vice president of the Federal Board of Governors. Are you kidding me? How about Susan Friedman, who's still head of policy for Ripple in the UK, who came from the Treasury? How about that? Is all of this sounding like a happy accident to you? How about Rosie Rios, the 43rd Treasurer of the United States of America? Is that sounding like an accident to you? When you look at all of this stuff, you have to say to yourself, this stuff is not an accident. How about Jack McDonald sitting here with the New York Department of Financial Services and Adrian Harris? How about that? The superintendent of the NYDFS. I don't see Tether there. Where's Paulo Ardoino? Huh? Where's Waldo? I don't see him anywhere. But we're there. We have a presence there. But somehow everybody wants to call Ripple XRP no good, crap coin, the company sucks, whatever. This is what they all want to say. But we're at the most relevant tables and meetings and policy discussions because why? We're not going to be in the mix? Not for a second will you get me to believe that with the work I've done. I could tell you that. Then it comes down to if we're right, if all of the things that we just talked about matter, and Ripple and XRP are smack dab in the middle of the U.S. market infrastructure, which I believe they will be, the question comes, what happens to the escrow? Financial advice, but that is my personal perspective and what I'm here for. All right, so this is a reminder that yes, Ripple is piloting a private ledger for central banks, launching central bank digital currencies. On the chain has just recently had the one and only Quincy Jones developer on here, and it seems to be a continuation of the conversation that we had right here on this channel about him and I talked about the escrow and about how the government could come in every month and become the steward instead of Ripple becoming the steward of the escrow. We're not talking about what you hold or what I hold on the retail market and retail investors hold. We're talking about the escrow release every month. And what he's about to explain to you, I believe, is exactly what we've been talking about for years now, and just how easily the government could confiscate and or the escrow and provide an XRP price set. Don't believe it, but it's still true. We can't take this off the table just yet. And I find that fact itself fascinating. All these years, 4+ years being invested in this asset, and no one has been able to dismiss the idea that we may in fact see an XRP price set. And I'm about to play you a clip now from Chip and Jeff, and shout out to both of those guys and Quincy about.
But in terms of something like different entities going after the escrow, I think that'd be the biggest thing. And I think that would set the context for everything that would stem off of that. So if there are any sort of regulations based off of how you could treat XRP and there was some sort of confiscation event, I think it'd be them confiscating the escrow and then setting the rules off of how you could treat XRP based off of that event.
So a follow-up for that, Quincy. What's the mechanism where somebody could come in and actually take the escrow? Because as you know, it's validator nodes that are set up. You need 80% consensus once an amendment is put forth. So I'm saying, what mechanism or regulation would they currently use? I don't think anything exists right now.
Now, he's glad he's asked that question, and Quincy's getting ready to give him a straight answer. He asked it that way too, because I think people hear the word confiscate the escrow and they think that they're going to break the escrow arrangement. I don't think that that's going to happen at all. The arrangement right now is that every month, 1 billion XRP are released to Ripple, and they are the steward of that escrow. Now imagine that every month when that is released, imagine the U.S. government buying it, and let's have Quincy give you the rest.
I'm glad you said that. That is so brilliant that you said that, because the answer is so simple. And when you say it out loud, the answer is so simple. And you want to take a guess what it is?
I could take a guess. Yeah, I could take a guess. I mean, when it comes to the government, anything is possible.
It's actually very simple. It's a one size fit all simple solution. It's actually kind of funny, and you guys will love it. It's really simple. And when
Lay
I
it
say
on us, man.
So the way that the government will confiscate the escrow isn't so much that they'll confiscate it, but they'll buy it, and they'll buy every single month's escrow release at whatever price to set liquidity at the price. You see what I mean? That's them setting the price of XRP at buying it at a certain price, setting liquidity will set liquidity for the rest of the market on top of any sort of regulatory frameworks they want to set. So they won't confiscate it because, you know, they're forcing them to confiscate it. They'll just force a buyout from the escrow every month at whatever price to set liquidity in the market.
There you have it. Is that what's going to happen to the escrow? I don't know the answer, but knowing the connections that we know, knowing how close we are to legislation, you have to ask the question. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I'll catch all of you on the next one.